can't wait to see how this turns out.
Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
I can't wait to see how this turns out. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Good evening, my darlings. How are you doing this fine evening? Hope you're doing well. So we've got a couple of things to do today. There's a new event in Fontaine. I think it looks like a picture, one of those picture-taking events, but we'll see. But first, let's go ahead and finish up busting these guys that with their weapons deals. While I eat dinner, cause I got started on it a little late.
Either I throw the guild under the bus, or I get on the bad side of a terrifying merc captain. Oh, could this get any worse? Get it together, Yahoda. Focus on the hot dog you're gonna treat yourself to after today is over. One thing at a time. All right. You've got this.
Let's try not to get too worked up, all right?
Don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this. I swear. What happened? You're here. Please, you've got to help me, Traveler. A theft at the expo is gonna ruin the guild's reputation. A theft? How did that happen? You're asking me. The guild has people keeping watch over the storage area for this exact reason. And it just had to happen to one of the scariest people here. Beto? Wait, that means...
Someone stole the ballistas? Seems there were a few people unaccounted for.
The guild asked us to keep our goods stored on the designated shelves. I had a few prototypes that I was using for demonstration, which I had stored there. But when I came to check on things just now, I noticed that all of them had been stolen.
And each ballista is super dangerous. If they fall into the wrong hands...
Well, all the prototypes have a failsafe designed to prevent unauthorized use, so it could be worse. Still, we should get them back as soon as possible.
The guild will make sure of that. If you could just keep this between us for now, we would be super appreciative.
Do we have to tell her?
Honesty is the best policy.
Uh-oh.
He taught us.
I know, it's just...
Seems like the situation with the kid getting kidnapped has had far-reaching consequences.
What are you three doing here?
There's something you want to tell me, isn't there?
Well, Neb's been obsessed with the ballistas ever since we got here. That's why Uncle Ashvapati told us to come see your booth. It seemed like he was interested in them too, because he even told us what parameters to ask about. Ever since this morning, we haven't been able to reach him.
Ooh.
We wanted to ask
The
Miss
kidnapping.
Yahoda for help, but then we heard about the ballistas being stolen.
And?
I don't think Uncle Ashvapati would do something something like that, but...
Ashvapati works for the guild. He has access to the storage warehouse, so he could get inside without the guards getting suspicious. Wait, so now it's an inside job? Oh, jeez! The guild is never gonna recover from this!
He made those toys the kids were selling, right? They don't look like much on the outside, but I bet they're hiding some serious tech. If he's a tech guy, those fail-safes I mentioned might not have our backs after all.
So, this just went from bad to worse.
Oh, uh-oh.
The question is, was he acting alone, or is he connected to the crime ring?
Could be. I mean, let's put it this way. There aren't a whole lot of people that could manage to stay off Yelan's radar. Why don't you take these kids to the curatorium and see what you can learn? I've got things covered here.
Got it!
Hold up. We can't hold these kids responsible, though. Right?
No, of course not, but... how do I explain this?
You want to look out for these kids, don't you?
I promised I would. Besides, they're innocent in all this.
Good, because I'm looking out for them too. That's why I want to find their uncle as soon as possible. No matter what he did or didn't do, it's worse for them if he's missing.
Guess we're on the same page then.
Take these kids to the curatorium. I'll update Yelan and tell her to meet you there.
Will do!
I wonder if this is related to the treasure hunter plot. Like the guy that was bullying them, and then turns out that this guy isn't actually from the treasure hunter faction that he says he's from. It's the problem with the decentralized command. Secret identities. Can't be sure who's representing who. There have been a few superhero stories where a bad guy dresses up as the superhero. I think Hush was a big one about that, where Hush was dressing up as Batman.
Things.
Anyway.
Here I was hoping the trouble would start and end with you two. But no matter. This will all make for a very engaging story.
I wouldn't be so flippant. This time, it's one of yours causing trouble. I'm starting to wonder if all those agents we captured were just a distraction, so the real culprit could make their move.
It's all still up in the air right now. What can you three tell us about Ashvapati?
Uncle Ashvapati isn't our real uncle, but he is our guardian. He adopted us when we were little. He told us we all came from the same band of eremites in the desert, but apparently, we're the only ones left. We've been traveling from place to place with him for as long as I can remember. We got to Nankrai not too long ago.
Their eyes.
What about them?
I'm just reminded of something. About a decade ago, there was a band of eremites who, seemingly out of nowhere, gained technological capabilities far surpassing those of other groups. Leveraging that advantage, they built a number of highly advanced weapons and sold them to the highest bidder. The conflicts in the desert became even bloodier as a result. While the other groups were tearing each other to shreds, these newly minted arms traders stood by and reaped the spoils. But before long, their own weapons were turned against them. And as the flames of conflict engulfed the desert, the group met their end. None of the weapons survived, and so in the wake of that destruction, the status quo of the desert was restored.
That's terrible.
In the desert, it's kill or be killed. People will stop at nothing to gain the upper hand. If this happened in Fontaine or Liyue, I'm sure the perpetrators would have been prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But in the desert, no one bats an eye. From what they've told us, sounds like these kids are orphans from that particular band of eremites.
Which means their guardian is likely one of the few survivors as well.
So, the survivors of that band of eremites are back in the weapons business?
Sounds like it.
No! Uncle Ashfapati would never do something like that! No matter what happened back then, I know one thing for sure. Uncle Ashfapati hates weapons. Sure, he's good at building things, but all he does is make toys for us to play with. He can't be the kind of person you're making him out to be. Or...
I mean, he's got good reason to hate weapons.
All we can do is act upon the facts.
So, what's our next move?
From our interrogations, we've learned that in 2 days, the person behind all this has a meeting planned to collect the goods. If all goes well, we can head to the pickup point and ambush them. But if Ashfapati is part of this and the leader learns what happened, there's no chance he risks himself for his agents. So, that meeting might as well be moot.
Then let's focus our efforts on Ashfapati for now. If we find him, he might just lead us to our culprit. If he stole the prototypes, there's bound to be a trail. I'm confident I can track him down. I just need some time.
What can I do to help?
I work best in the shadows. The more people involved, the harder it is to operate. As soon as I've got a location, though, he's all yours. You let me handle the search, and I'll let the special patrol handle the seizure.
I mean, ballistas aren't exactly the easiest thing to move.
Good news.
Seizure?
So I'm sure,
Hey! Don't worry too much right now. The most important thing is that we find your uncle. The rest can wait.
sure there's something.
Okay.
I'm sure there is a trail.
Looks like I'll need to enlist
Have to.
your services for a bit.
Has to have
longer,
been
Jack.
noticed. As long as I get paid. No worries. I also want to see this through. Please for the children. I wonder if they tried Toys for Tots and it was like, no, we are not letting you use that.
We just got word from Yelan. Looks like she managed to track down Ashfapati.
As to be expected.
Took me a bit longer than I expected, but I found where he's hiding.
Let me just be sure of one thing. We're dealing with someone who has extremely dangerous weaponry in his hands. If it comes to it, are you prepared to handle the worst-case scenario?
Absolutely. You just need to trust us, just like we trusted you earlier. Yeah, we've got this. My crew's already locked and loaded.
I'll take you at your word.
I know
You need a confirmed kill in order to get 00 status. You think Yelan doesn't
use some backup.
have any confirmed
I
kills?
chose
Come
a
on.
few promising young Spina members to help out. Clarence and I have got things covered at the expo. Yes, we're ready to roll then.
Now that you're here, I guess we can get this show on the road.
Let's go.
Wait.
I'm sorry, you can't come with us. You need to stay at the expo like we agreed. It's for your own safety.
We know. It's just... Do you really think Uncle Ashfapati is working for the bad guys?
I wish I could answer that question, but it would just be speculation. And I work based off evidence.
He's been gone for 2 days now, and he just left us here. He's never done that before.
Maybe he really is working for those people and was afraid of getting caught. But if that's true, then that means he must have been involved in making and selling weapons in the past too. Wouldn't that make him a bad person?
He was, and then his clan was wiped out, and that's...
Take a look around the expo. There are plenty of other people making and selling weapons. Doesn't mean they're necessarily all bad people.
Well...
The same is true for your uncle. Whatever he may have done in the past, the real question we need to ask is why. There's a lot we need to know before we can judge a person. In Fontaine, we have a long and complicated process in place just to make sure we get the right answer to that question.
Yeah. Why would Uncle Ashvapati do something like that?
How about this? I'll make sure that Miss Chevras and Miss Yelan promise to bring your uncle back safe and sound. Then you can ask him yourselves.
Thanks, miss.
This situation is complicated and unpredictable. Isn't it a bit early to be making those kinds of promises?
This was my question.
It's all right. We're prepared for whatever we might face.
Regardless, it's a promise we have to keep. After all, when the children get their answer, it will shape their understanding of what justice means.
Then, let's all do our part to make sure this ends as well as it possibly can.
Go to Ashvapati's hideout. I'm guessing they're forcing him into it some way. Over here.
Full throttle!
Stop right there!
We missed him.
Looks like he left behind plenty of evidence, though. Search the area. Let's see if we can find a lead.
We're seeing that there's a ballista here. Well, miniature ballista.
Paimon thinks it is?
It's the display model that goes with the prototype. Guess that does make him our thief.
What's worse is that, with his technical background, I bet he managed to bypass the security features on the prototype.
You're saying our guy has a battle-ready ballista in his possession, just waiting to be unleashed?
Oh, this isn't looking good.
Something isn't adding up. All the evidence suggests that he was here alone. Which begs the question, why would he unlock the ballista's features before even meeting up with his boss?
That's a question.
We haven't confirmed that he unlocked the ballista's features. What?
Hey, there's a letter here.
Look at how it's positioned. It was begging to be found. I think it might be for us.
You think he knew we would come here?
Just sitting out on the table in the open air.
If he did,
That
he's a more impressive opponent than I anticipated.
they
keep
they
going.
could have just had it like
Read it together when we debrief.
any sort of paperweight. It shouldn't take that long. Okay.
These records look suspiciously familiar.
Yeah. Doesn't seem very coincidental to me either.
What is it?
Remember when I said this group's cover was ironclad? They were always careful never to leave a trail leading back to them. The one time they slipped up, they broke the case wide open. We found a cargo manifest left behind at the scene. That's the clue that led us to Nodcry.
It was a similar story on our end.
And now that same manifest shows up here, among the records left behind by Ashvapati.
So, he's the guy that slipped up back
Unless it wasn't a slip-up at all. How does the same clue get left behind at 2 separate scenes and picked up by 2 separate law enforcement agencies? Thinking back on it now, it doesn't seem quite so accidental after all.
No. Almost like he led us here on purpose. But for what reason?
To take down the group, obviously. Like that's the thing.
The situation seems more complicated than we imagined. It looks like Ashvapati does have a connection to our criminal gang, but it might not be what we thought at first.
You don't think he's working for them?
Unlikely. He lured us to Nodcry, prepared those weapons on his own, deliberately put us on his trail. This is looking more and more like the work of an independent actor.
Well, if we want to get to the bottom of this, he's still our best lead.
Let's read the letter. They read the records, but they couldn't read a simple letter.
Our last remaining clue. Let's do it.
To the officers of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol and the Liyue Qixing, you certainly live up to your reputation. Within a single day, you were able to eliminate over half of the gang's forces. I appreciate the effort. I doubt my secret hiding spot will be a secret much longer. So I suppose it's my turn to throw my hat in the ring. I'm just glad I no longer have to run. So, before my day in court is upon me, allow me to confess to my crimes. It all started with a Ksharawar researcher, expelled from the academia for violating a taboo.
Let me guess. That's him.
He had dedicated his life to the pursuit of knowledge. But when he found himself in the desert, it wasn't even worth a pail of water to quench his thirst. Could you spare some water?
Wow, who could have guessed?
Researcher, if you need something, I could.
Researchers like you are a dime a dozen. Smart as a whip until you find yourself in the desert. Then, you're lucky to survive the night.
Are you mocking me?
No, son. Just still trying to figure out why I've got such a soft spot for strays like you. Here, give me your canteen.
That's a water skin, not a canteen. Thank you very much.
You got somewhere to go?
Not really. Thanks to this water, though. At least I can rule out the bottom of a vulture's stomach.
Now you're talking like desert folk. You could always join my band of misfits.
What would I do?
Gather food, guard our water source, just like everyone else I've taken in. Of course, if you have something you're good at, you're welcome to show it off. Every little bit helps.
All I know is weapons.
Weapons?
Yeah, I love studying them. Big and powerful ones, small and deadly ones, old ones, new ones. I believe the essence of Ksharawar research is embodied in weaponry, and the pursuit of this kind of technology is what pushes the world forward. My lifelong goal has always been to become a foremost expert on all kinds of weapons, so I can invent even more advanced ones. So I might have borrowed a few sensitive techs without permission, but you see the vision, right? The higher-ups
Wow, gee, what a
just
shock.
didn't understand.
The academia
All is proceeding as I have foreseen.
for exiling you out here, and it still wouldn't matter to me, son. All I care about is what this specialty of yours can do for us.
I can help upgrade your weaponry.
They couldn't have, like, adjusted his model even slightly.
Surely.
Be young Ashfapati. Just erase the
Weapons are
lines.
essential to life here in the desert. Most folks get them when merchants happen to pass through. But when it comes to protecting the people here, this scimitar in my hand is more than enough. The kind of weapons you're talking about are overkill for a place like this.
Overkill? Really?
Our group is lucky. Our ancestors learned how to protect the oasis from the sandstorms to prevent it from drying up. Plus, we're pretty far off the beaten path. Helps us avoid conflict with other bands of Eremites. All in all, we don't have to travel to find water. We don't have to fight off other desert folk. It's a real place to call home. There are plenty of ways to die in the desert, but behind a lot of them lies too much ambition. So, having somewhere to settle down is more than enough for me.
I see. Guess I could do some odd jobs then.
I've heard you Kasharawa scholars are handy with all kinds of gadgets. You could always make something for the kids.
You mean, like, toys?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind. It'll give them something to do. Life can get boring out here.
All right, then. And just like that, a Kasharawar scholar at the cutting edge of his field ended up in the desert, making toys for children. It got boring from time to time, but all in all, those days were quite pleasant. The Eremites accepted me as one of their own, and all the children loved me. Looking back now, I wish I could have lived like that until the end of my days. But then, those despicable people showed up, and it changed everything. Don't rush me. These materials are in short supply.
Oh, they've got a lot of nerve showing their faces back here.
Send the gem? It has been a while.
Well, we have a right to this oasis too. Our ancestors were part of the group that discovered it.
You hated this place. After that giant sandstorm when everyone else was trying to figure out how to help, you got out of Dodge the first chance you could get.
Because I knew better than to be stubborn. Stay in one place too long around here, and it might just be your grave.
You abandoned this place. If we'd done the same, the oasis wouldn't even exist anymore. You gave up your right to be here a long time ago.
I heard they joined another band of Eremites after leaving us, but got kicked out. I bet they're only crawling back to us now, because they've got nowhere else to go.
Chief, should we drive him off?
I'd like to see you try. I'm warning you. You won't get rid of us that easily.
Leave them be. This oasis has always been big enough to sustain more than one group of people. It's not worth spilling blood over. All that matters is keeping
My guy.
safe.
Oh.
I didn't think much of it. Just Kaim Waset being the kind-hearted man he always had been. And so, normal life continued. Much unchanged. Well, mostly. You can take the scholar out of the academia, but putting your life's work behind you is easier said than done. I often found myself flipping through my collection of blueprints and sketches. The ruin drakes, scattered around Sumeru, were of particular interest to me. As far as I knew, no one had been able to analyze or reproduce the technology within those mechanisms.
I'm starting to understand why they didn't read the letter. And also,
But I was able
I
to
guess
develop a kind of lure,
the
lead
length
them into a
indicates that it...
specific target,
Well, it's less of a letter and more of a book.
turning them into
No wonder it
a
didn't
weapon.
blow away in the wind.
Somehow, the new arrivals at the oasis must have caught wind of it, because they soon started taking an interest in me.
Hope you don't mind me asking, but is that a weapon you're researching?
I do mind, actually. It's none of your business.
Rumor is you used to be a researcher at the academia. All that knowledge going to waste out here in the sticks. What a shame.
What do you want?
I want to team up. The rules and red tape that got you kicked out of the academia, they don't exist in the desert. You could take this research to the next level. As things stand, all you've got is a blueprint and a pipe dream. But what if you had access to the right funds and materials?
What are you suggesting?
Me and my men can get you what you need. In return, all you gotta do is bring this sketch to life.
I mean, they could have just found a way to sell it to a Sharawar researcher and interested in the same thing.
The different bands of Eremites are gonna
You get something nice.
left and right to get their hands on it.
What use is more in the desert?
It's a win-win.
It's all about water.
You provide the goods, and I earn enough mora from these people to fund the research of your dreams.
I don't know.
I understand what you're worried
How much?
about, but listen, it won't come back.
I mean, how much more does cost? Does water cost? Like
These
that's
people
the thing.
don't think bigger than this place. They don't get involved in conflict. I mean, come on. Their biggest enemy is the weather.
You've made a bad name for yourself around here. I don't want any part in this.
Well, it's your choice. But it could be the last meaningful choice you ever get in life. So I'll ask you again. Do you want to finally develop the weapons you've been dreaming of and realize your academic ambitions? Or do you want to stay here building toys for kids?
How I wish I'd made the right choice back then.
Yeah, we increased.
Just said, hey,
what
think about it.
You gonna back out?
So,
And
you're really
tell-
as money
okay.
hungry as they all say, huh?
Cash is king. That's just business.
Fine.
I'm done. I want out.
What are you talking about? We're making bank here.
I know what the weapons have been used for, and I refuse to be an accomplice to all this any longer.
An accomplice? Listen, that's got nothing to do with us. People would be at each other's throats with or without our weapons. So they die to a machine instead of a scimitar. What difference does it make?
Can't you sell more than just weapons? Surely this can't be all the Eremites are interested in buying.
If you want to make the big mora, you gotta push what sells. That's just how it is.
And that right there...
I don't get what the Mora is supposed to be used for.
More than
I don't
enough
know.
to leave this dump in the dust anyway. If you want out so bad, have it your way.
What was that?
Well, let me guess. Senate Gem is the guy behind the bandits.
No. Kaem was it. How did this happen?
You won't find a tribe in this desert without enemies. People have tried to steal water from this oasis in the past, but Kaem Wazet drove them off. Guess his enemies have been holding a grudge this whole time.
You sold weapons to his enemies. But he took you in when you had nowhere to turn. You owe him your life. Why would you do this?
Because when you
Excuse to
give
drive up
people...
the price, that's why.
It was only later that I found out. This wasn't the first time Senegem and his men had turned around and stabbed their allies in the back. Let's just say there was a good reason. They had nowhere else to turn back then.
Yeah. Plus, when you give people something without any expectation in return, it feeds their belief that they deserve more.
All I could think about was
it doesn't get them it doesn't buy their loyalty.
Once the weapons I designed were turned against us, the fate of this place was sealed.
It makes them resentful.
Could do nothing.
And jealous.
In the end, despite all the burning tents I rushed into, I was only able to save 3 children. And now, you know the full account of my crimes.
And Senajim is the leader of the bandits, and so...
While attempting to hunt down the men who made them orphans in the first place. This confession is for the kids to read, too. So, I hope you'll pass it along to them. They deserve to know the full truth of what happened. I know I'm in no position to make requests, but please, help them find loving parents to take them in. Above all else, they deserve a true family. Back then, I failed to see this through to the end. But I won't make that mistake again.
Jeez, if this is true...
He's after the same target as us. And he's out for revenge.
He even lured us to Notcry to help him get it.
I think I know what he's planning to do with those ballistas now. If I'm right, this doesn't bode well.
Then we need to find him ASAP! It sounds like he's about to do something super dangerous. But we promised the kids we'd bring him back safe.
I can't just let him get rid of our target either. This crime ring runs deep. There are still many other conspirators we need to track down.
So where do we go to find him?
Oh?
You got something?
He knew we'd be out of the picture investigating this place. I think he decided to spring the trap that we set up.
He's gonna ambush the target when he comes to pick up the goods.
Snap! He's not working for them!
Oh, snap.
The original plan could have worked all along!
The meeting will be happening any time now. Quick, we need to head to the rendezvous point.
Okay, I can teleport. And it's right next to a teleport point, too. Teleport waypoint. How convenient.
Ashvapati.
It's been a while, Senajim. Over a decade at least.
How did you find this place?
All these years. And the signal you use for the meetup point still hasn't changed. All I had to do was pose as your point of contact. And fish a time and date out of that scout you sent.
Useless bunch of idiots. Just wait until my backup gets here.
Oh, I think that might take a while. The Fontaine and Liyue authorities have your men locked down tight. Every last one.
No. There's no way the cops could have known we'd be here.
Cops?
Unless, of course,
Do-
someone deliberately left it.
Do Fontaine badges,
straight to the expo.
are they made of copper?
That would be a different story. Now, wouldn't it? If they hadn't taken your agents out of the equation...
I don't imagine the Cheech Sing use copper badges.
So now what? You gonna turn me in, too?
No. The authorities can have your men. But you're mine.
Is that Fatui tech? Looks like your skills are as good as ever. Listen, I know you're mad that I've been racking up Mora without you all these years, but it looks like you still got it. If you want back in, we can work something out.
After everything that happened, what makes you think I would want back in?
Because what's the alternative? You're not here for revenge, are you? After Kayem took you in, you really convinced yourself you were one of them, huh? What you should have learned is that banking on loyalty and belonging is a losing hand. Better to cash out before you're in the hole. In the desert, my people live by one rule and one rule alone. The last laugh doesn't go to the righteous. It belongs to the one who knows how to cut their losses. Just look at me. When there's Mora to be earned in the desert, I'm a desert folk. When the opportunities in Fontaine are sweeter, I'm a Fontanian.
You think everyone is as much of a lowlife as you?
A lowlife? There's nothing Mora can't buy, Ashvapati. That includes prestige. You're talking to a renowned Fontanian philanthropist who lives in the Vasari Passage and spends his days going from one grand banquet to the next. Nobody who counts would dare call me a lowlife.
Are you done?
Clearly,
I mean,
there's no
the
reason
guy
you feel
holding
like
the gun to your head seems like he counts.
Want me dead so bad, why'd you come to face me alone? That wasn't the wisest decision now, was it?
Oh, don't you worry.
Calling you a lowlife.
I brought plenty of firepower with me. You could have brought a whole army for all I care. These weapons will bury every last one of you!
I think it would have been more dramatic if he said, "We'll bury every last one of us."
Are you crazy? If that thing fires, you're not getting out of here alive either.
Yes, that's the plan. It's high time both of us paid the price for our sins!
He's lost his mind. Get him! Start breaking his bones until he removes this barrier.
Hold it right there, all of you! Otherwise, I've got enough firepower to go around, too.
The Maison Gardiennage!
You got here sooner than I expected.
Hey! What's that in the sky? Looks like bad news!
Ashvapati, you have my word that these people will face the judgment of the Fontaine courts. Remove the barrier and come with us at once.
Fontanian justice is too merciful for them. You should leave us.
Stubborn fool.
Ati, Neb, and Raya are waiting for you.
I don't deserve them. I have to atone for the things I've done.
Well, you do that by taking care of those kids. Duh.
You're from Liyue, right?
Death is the easy way out. For,
Your ancestors were the first
someone like
people
that.
to master the recipe for gunpowder. And yet, they turned it into fireworks and firecrackers that even children could play with. Surely, it's choices like that which make Liyue what it is today. I hear that it's a very peaceful place to live for the most part. But me,
Sure, if you ignore the ancient gods trying to destroy
I chose to use my
the entire
research
region.
skills to create weapons of war that brought death to countless people and destroyed the only home those kids had. That's why I have to atone. Because I have blood on my hands.
Sounds like you don't know as much as you think about fireworks. They might be harmless fun in this day and age, but they started out as weapons too, you know.
What?
That's right. Fireworks and firecrackers
Oh, yeah.
were originally developed for use as
rocketry.
weapons. They needed something a little more powerful than usual for purging evil forces and scaring off wild beasts. Over time, evil spirits learned to fear the sight of flames,
and the beasts retreated into the mountains. That's when people started repurposing fireworks for entertainment purposes. The peace we enjoy today isn't because we chose to make toys instead of weapons. The weapons are what secured us the peace in the first place. Only then did we have the luxury of choosing to turn them into toys.
There are a lot of people who could benefit from this, from hearing that.
Acts of evil. And when people are as bent on destruction as the evil forces and beasts faced by our forebears, whatever tools they have at their disposal end up as weapons.
Time is running out. Please. Leave while you still can.
Relax. Now that we have these guys in custody, I think we can find a way of repurposing these ballistas for the children's amusement.
I guess they're gonna blow them up and it's gonna be fireworks. Oh, no. Good up. Oh! Nice. Well, one of them's I know. Yeah, that's the point, you know?
I knew they were looking for trouble, but they messed with the wrong manager.
Oh, they're gonna shoot him out of the sky. That's an awful lot of accuracy. It's the whole intercepting a missile with another missile. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is like, you can't... It should be noted, though, there is another aspect to the whole weapons development thing, is that, there's kind of this idea that those who didn't develop quite as advanced weaponry it's because they were just living in, you know, peaceful lives. But oftentimes what it is that they were living such violent lives that they weren't able to develop the people who could, you know, the smart people tended to die off pretty quickly. And they didn't have the opportunity to develop the more advanced weaponry. So, yeah. Just because the people are primitive. It's the whole myth of the noble savage thing, right? It's like, just because they're not technologically advanced doesn't mean they were living in one with nature. No, the most violent cultures throughout history tended to be also the most technologically backwards. You have to have moments of peace. You have to have some safety in order to develop technology. And that includes to develop the weaponry, the more advanced weaponry, you know?
No funny business.
I never imagined the Guizhong ballista could be used for something so beautiful.
I saw this coming. Well, I mean, to be fair, I saw this coming because I know the concept of shooting down missiles with other missiles, the interceptor missiles. Although, well, never mind. So I don't know. Am I using out of character knowledge on that one? I saw this coming.
Agree to come with us and answer some questions. It would be a big help to our investigation.
Of course. You'll have my full cooperation. I know I'm guilty. Just not sure of the precise crime at this point.
Honestly, me neither. I'm sure a case like yours would have Fontaine's top legal experts scratching their heads. As for these armed
What?
villains, though,
What? So,
I confidently say that none of them will be getting away with this.
oh well, you know, here's the man. Find the crime.
No.
Excuse you?
Sentence the court can give them that will satisfy.
Communism.
But at least the trial.
This is a Chinese game, after all.
Their crimes and the punishment they will receive. The victims deserve that much. Considering the alternative was them dying in obscurity to a revenge killing with no one left behind to tell the story. This looks more like real justice to me.
I guess you're right.
The guild's probably gonna have a thing or two to say about what he did. Although, I don't know. I mean, if everyone else is willing to keep it under wraps, maybe the guild won't even know. Oh my goodness. I thought we were going to be able to start on the picture-taking event.
What do you think they did with Ashvapati in the end? Let's go ask them for an update.
I don't imagine they did much, because there isn't a crime that they know to charge him with. That's generally how it works, is you investigate the crime, you charge the crime, you don't charge the person and then try and figure out what crime you can charge them with.
Great! Everyone's in one place!
Now that we are on the other side of this incident, I suggest we put any remaining questions to rest here and now. The Voynich Guild won't be responsible for any disputes remaining after this meeting.
Understood. Well, there's been no serious harm to me or any of my compatriots. And with the arms dealing operation closed down, I've achieved my strategic objective. I'm happy to let the Fontaine authorities process the culprits from here on.
I appreciate your flexibility. I'll need all of them in my custody to proceed with the case files. As for you... Given your association with the Voynich Guild, I suspect the boss of the Curatorium might raise some objections if I insisted on bringing you into custody as well.
Then what do you propose, Miss Chevreuse?
While pursuing one of the suspects in this case, it was unfortunately necessary for me to destroy a certain signboard in Nasha Town.
Is that an official confession, officer?
What I'm suggesting is that I don't file charges against Ashvapati, he stays here, and in return, you don't seek damages for the signboard. Sound fair?
Deal.
Huh. That went surprisingly smoothly. Paimon figured it was gonna be a whole ordeal.
Uncle Ashvapati, we...
They told us the whole story. Everything you've done. Even so, we still want you as our uncle.
But
If you'd been less trusting of the promises these men made to you back then, and left some weapons for your own people to defend themselves with, maybe things would have turned out differently. The way I see it, your crime wasn't the weapons research itself. It was failing to use that knowledge sensibly, to protect the ones you cared about.
yeah. You're absolutely right.
Well then, what are you waiting for? The chance to atone for real is staring you right in the face.
Children, from now on, I will protect you with my life.
Traveler, Yelan, on behalf of the Fontaine authorities, it has been a pleasure working with you both. I wish you all the best.
I have plenty of other business to attend to, so it's probably about time I got going as well. See ya.
Looks like you're a free man.
I guess, but even if they won't arrest me, I still have a lot to answer for. I joined the Voynich Guild with my own agenda and nearly ruined their reputation. Are you really gonna let me get away with that?
Do we not get
After you joined us, it didn't take me long.
anything with
to spot that you
the
knew
treasure hoarders?
about nearly everything. Everything except your desert origins. That turned out to be true. I actually consider the desert my home too, so I was interested to learn who the real Ashvapati was. Thanks to the Traveler, I now know the full story. And my, what a story it is. Granted, the final chapter caused us a fair amount of trouble. But hey, sometimes that's the
Wait,
price you pay for a good
is
ending.
the Voynich Guild and the Curatorium of Secrets the same?
I
What?
mean,
I thought
obviously,
they
can't
were
let you stay in the
different
guild. Not
factions.
after all the rules you broke.
I completely understand.
I'd recommend that you take these kids back to the desert.
Why?
The desert has been plagued by seemingly endless conflict since as far back as I can remember. But your story offers a glimpse of a different way of life. Maybe there really is hope for peace in the desert.
That doesn't really make
is
much
a different
sense.
world than what it once was. With Lesser Lord Kusanali at the helm, who knows where the possibilities end? Maybe you could rebuild the home these kids once knew.
I mean, that seems a little suspicious.
But that was a lifetime ago. I'm sure the sandstorms will have buried any last trace of that oasis by now. Sure, we could put up a few tents and call it a settlement. But what then? It would be a brutally harsh existence. There's no way around it.
Where there's Mora, there's always a way. Hello, my dear customer. Why don't you discuss your needs with me? If you can dream it, you can buy it.
Doesn't exactly have a lot of Mora, though.
So Mora is the answer, huh? All right. Say I wanted to buy a hometown for these children. You telling me I can buy that from you?
Don't take her so literally. She's just doing her sales pitch. Sure can. Huh? Ta-da! I present to you one magical gemstone created by none other than the renowned mage Alice herself. Simply plant it in the ground and a spring will instantly start growing. Before long, you'll have yourself a fully fledged oasis. And the best part is, it's designed to work flawlessly, even in the most arid and sandiest of deserts.
Something tells me that Alice knew what was going on, what was gonna happen.
Goodness. They always say you can find everything at the Not Cry Trade Expo. Turns out it's more than just marketing hyperbole. Still, surely a treasure like this must cost the world. As much as I'd love to buy it, I don't think I'm the kind of clientele you're looking for.
Actually, this could be your lucky day. The mage who tasked me with selling this insisted on setting the price herself.
Yep.
And she priced it as
Called it.
whatever keeps the kids happy. Needless to say, I could have found far more lucrative options. But alas, none of them would be worth breaking a promise to a mage over.
Whatever keeps the kids happy? So what is that in Mora?
Good question. I got it! How about I charge you whatever you three kids earned at the expo? Then you can say you bought back your hometown through nothing but your own hard work. I think that would keep the kids very happy indeed. Wouldn't you agree?
Deal!
It seems like that's just gonna make them targets, though. I mean,
Strange turn of events.
there's remember that whole thing about like, hey, others have tried to invade that oasis before. Never know what to expect with Dory.
I think it's safe to say that this was one of the more memorable trade expos.
All right, that's done. That's done. Check, 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 and check. All right, let's start this at least. Sorry, I did not think it was gonna take an hour to finish that quest. I'd be like, okay, we're gonna, or the event.
Rev the engines.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really anyone to defend, so to defend the Oasis. So I don't know. Anyway. All right, here comes the main character. Get the cameras rolling. Huh? No, that's not right. A business partnership should be like a film script. It needs a proper structure with a beginning, middle, and end. I don't know who is who here. I'm sorry. So if I get the voices wrong, we'll figure it out. Typically, the first thing you do when you approach a superstar for a partnership is offer them your business card. You then follow that up with a grand introduction to properly position yourself, then pitch them your vision for the partnership. You only start to talk about the specifics of the partnership once they show a certain degree of interest. The way you went about talking about your flash cuts idea, that was way too much. Too soon. To be frank, Miss Melise, that theory of yours might hold a little more water if your debut film, Experimental Studio, hadn't been such a flop. Besides, you tried to approach the Traveler back at the Film Fantasyland, didn't you? But if I'm right, you didn't seem to have left much of an impression on him at all. Everything you said is nothing more than the fanciful thinking of a child. The adult world is far more complicated. It's not as simple as you think. Oh dear, how terribly superficial of you to use someone's age to debunk their argument, Miss Marius. Your behavior right now only proves my point. What in the world are you saying? Ha, you pretentious little brat. Whoa, hold on. There's no need to raise your voice. Can't we just sit down and talk this out calmly? Let's all calm down. I'm sure whatever it is, we can work it out. Did the Traveler and Paimon really just come to us? I can't believe that worked. Look, Miss Melise, it's like I said. People care more about the eye-catching parts than a long drawn-out setup. We're talking about folks so famous they might stand in line for 3 days and 3 nights and still not get to talk to them. You might stand in line for 3 days and 3 nights and still not get to talk to them. But now, they've approached us simply because they saw us arguing. And now, this is the part where we pitch our proposed partnership. I'm trying to get his voice right. I'm having a hard time aging it down. You came at just the right time, you two. What do you think about our Flash Cuts pilot? It's a real attention grabber, don't you think? Huh? What? Cut now? Weren't you two? What? Having a fight? Haha! No, not at all. An adult as dignified as her won't get worked up over the words of a mere brat, now would she? That's true. Especially when I'm dealing with precocious brats who act like they're all grown up. That doesn't sound like not a fight at all. Anyway, don't you think that walking right into a high-tension scene like that would make anyone want to seize the rest? Anyone would try to stop the argument, you mean? But what if you'd known back there that we were shooting short films? Huh, you do have a point. If it's something that interests Paimon from the get-go, Paimon would definitely want to keep watching. And that's the USP for flash cuts. The viewer gets to see the most gripping, most emotionally charged content in the shortest time possible. Not only that, unlike regular short films, flash cuts are designed for quick viewing between tasks, so while you're on the move, you could easily watch one while taking a break from your travels. So there's YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram Reels. And you don't have to be a professional director or cameraman to make a flash cut. anyone can create or watch a flash cut anytime, anywhere. Content-wise, you aren't restricted from the story. You aren't restricted to storytelling either. Your flash cut can be about anything from a dance to just some beautiful scenery. Doesn't a format like that sound enticing to you? It sure does. Now Paimon wants to shoot a flash cut herself too. But of course, there's some star power to guarantee we get the eyeballs we need. But of course, we'll need some star power to guarantee we get the eyeballs we need. And that means we need someone whose name is known in every corner of the world. That's right. I'm talking about you two. Do you know that stars command hefty appearance fees, right? That is, if this is a commission at all. As if this is a commission at all. Oh, please rest assured that Mr. Petite Lumiere and I have, after our time at Film Fantasyland, raised enough money. You'll certainly get your appearance fee. Besides, think about how you might become known as the father of flash cuts once we make it big. Not only that, flash cuts has truly pushed the boundaries of filmic language. With your experience behind the lens, you'll be able to narrate purely through visuals, without needing any dialogue. This all sounds really fun. Shall we give it a try, Traveler? Cool, we'll do it. So we'll get paid? Sure, let's get... Cool, we'll do it. Excellent! We'll start shooting as soon as the two of you are ready. I've already selected the camera positions. I also have the film camera, props, and post-production lined up as well. All you need to do is use them as you please. So let's get to it. From the available options, select one character to participate in each scene. There will be multiple filming tasks to be completed during the shoot. They must be completed in sequence. Once all shots are complete, you can begin the post-production phase, where you'll be able to adjust the camera angles. Press Watch Completed Flash Cut to preview the current version of the film. So it's like the one that introduced that tabletop game. Navi always wanted to try diplomacy. Start filming. Alright, use the same character to participate. Characters from Fontaine, the Traveler, or the Mannequin. Well, we should get Fiorina to do this, of course. I am sure that will, that's gonna get the most eyes on this. During certain scenes shoots, a viewfinder will appear. Please ensure that the camera remains within the range of the viewfinder from start to finish, while moving the characters to touch the guiding lines. In the final cut, the camera with the viewfinder will be replaced with a specially invited actor. Touch guiding lights. Be fairly simple. This would be a lot easier to make it go more smoothly if I was on controller. Conduct post-production. Okay. The treasure hoarder. So are the treasure hoarders following her? Oh, I see. They were stalking her, and they got in trouble. Okay. Don't stalk Fiorina. Is the lesson, Lady Fiorina. After completing a sim shoot, you can unlock the free shoot mode. In this mode, you can freely assign the same or different characters to complete various performance tasks. Alright, well. Yes. I still need to do the, not Stygian Onslaught, was Spiral Abyss. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to do on Friday. You can view films captured by other travelers and submit reviews after the playback ends. Okay. But yeah, so that's probably going to be the plan for Friday. But for now, gonna have to call it there for the night. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the rest of your night is a good one, and I will see you later. Heart hands.